This season will long be remembered by Red Wing fans as a special one. It saw the team make history.
On this hockey day in America, the Red Wings stretch their home winning streak to 23.
A Hockeytown icon got his due.
Been very happy to do a game, wear my emotions on my sleeve, have some fun with it, and jump in my truck and drive home without any fanfare.
And a living legend joined a very elite group.
Lidstrom scores!
Come with us now as we look back at a regular season to remember. Hello everyone and welcome to Wingspan. This is Trevor Thompson. This year has been an amazing one for the Red Wings, full of wonderful moments and milestone achievements. In this episode, we'll revisit some of those events as seen through the eyes of Wingspan. And we'll start with the biggest story of the regular season, the home winning streak.
On this hockey day in America, the Red Wings stretch their home winning streak to 23.
After losing 6 games in a row early in the season, the Wings knew they had to kick it into gear. And on November the 5th, 2011, they found that gear.
Moving in goes Hewitt, comes back to the line. Shot by Cronwall, scores! Looks back, Zetterberg, shot, scores! Poked away, they score! A Whistler and a save by Howard!
We needed a win, and we needed some goals to win for us, and that happened tonight. So now we have to continue to build on this.
So what seemed merely like the end of a terrible slump actually marked the beginning of something special.
Back for him, scores! It's a beauty! Johnson grabbed by Clary Miller, scores! He's got a couple, and the Red Wings got 7. Zetterberg scores! Oh, in Forsberg-like fashion!
I don't get the chance that often anymore in the penalty shots, so when you have a chance, you might as well try something fun.
Game after game, opponents fell one after another at the Joe.
Redirected front, score! To Lidstrom, to Franzen, and in the net. And the exclusive club that had only 2 members now has 3. There are 3 teams in the history of the National Hockey League that have won 20 consecutive games on home ice.
Here's Hudler in all alone, scores! 21 consecutive home wins, history is made. And again, Helmut shot, scores! Darren Helm from the high slot.
For over 3 months, the Wings were just unstoppable at home. Despite losing key players to injury throughout the season, the team was able to put together a string of 23 home victories, breaking a league record that stood for decades. All during that streak, there was one element that was consistent throughout, and that was you. Here's Shannon Hogan now, with a look at how the fans supported the Wings all year long and continue to do so as they make their 21st consecutive run for the Cup.
Trevor, the fans in Detroit are invaluable. You look up and down this concourse, and you can't help but notice these fans are diehard. Check out what I found. Woo! From the hair to the octopus to the winged wheel, these fans are nuts about Hockeytown and their Red Wings. What is the relationship between the fans in Detroit and the Red Wings? How close is that relationship?
Okay, well, the Red Wings are our second family.
My blood.
We live, breathe, eat, sleep Red Wings. We're Hockeytown. It's what you do in Detroit.
The fans are all about the Red Wings, Motor City, Hockeytown. We love coming down here to party for the Red Wings. Woo!
Definitely number one thing is probably the fans we have. We're amazing fans that are really supporting.
I think the fans have just a huge impact. I'm a hockey player myself, so when you can go out there and play, especially if things are not going the best, you got the crowd behind you, they're going nuts, going crazy. It just gives you that extra motivation.
Oh, it's just huge. It just gets the excitement all over the arena. People are, and the fans, they put the drive into the players, and they can feel it right out there.
Fans are huge. It's much more fun to play when you have a crowd behind you, and I think our fans have done a great job at it.
I noticed they do kind of look up when they're getting out there for warm-ups, and I think they did, acknowledge, I think they really, they know, they feel the excitement, and they appreciate us.
Let's go Red Wings!
When they get down, the fans bring them back up. They're always positive in this building.
When those players look across and they see us all painted up and all going crazy and yelling and screaming with the intensity that we have, that's what makes playoffs.
the atmosphere for a playoff game is over the top. Over the top. It's a huge home ice advantage for them.
You can't hear yourself think. The floor is shaking. Everybody's on their feet. It's insane.
It is Red Wings hockey. Everybody's off their rocker.
It's awesome. Like everybody's going crazy. It's just crazy. It's insane.
I think it's a little bit better for our fans so far this year, and hopefully we can keep it going for them.
What would you do to help the Red Wings win a Stanley Cup?
Well, last year I saran wrapped an octopus to my leg and wore it to school all day. My glasses. It kind of smelled, but I mean I got used to it and it's worth it.
We made our bellies!
If I could grow a beard, I would.
I will do anything to make the Wings win the Stanley Cup. Let's go, Wings! Let's go!
Tickets for the Red Wings' 21st consecutive playoff appearance are now available. For information, call 313-396-7575 or go to DetroitRedWings.com. Up next, a distinguished career is honored, and it's been a long time coming. The origins of a hockey lifer, next on Wingspan. Welcome back to Wingspan. We're revisiting the Wings' momentous 2011-2012 season. This past November, Detroit Red Wings analyst and hockey lifer Mickey Redmond received the Foster Hewitt Memorial Award for his outstanding contributions as a hockey broadcaster.
I'm really honored today to be here receiving the award, and Dave mentioned Bruce Martin and Bud Lynch already are honorees for this award, and I'm very glad to be joining them. Been very happy to do a game, wear my emotions on my sleeve, have some fun with it, and jump in my truck and drive home without any fanfare. That's as good as it gets for me, even after all this time, because the game is such a great game.
The honor was a long time coming and represents respect for the career of a man who, as Justin White told us, loved the sport of hockey from the very first time he ever put on a pair of skates.
Mickey Redmond may as well have been born with a hockey stick in his hands and a pair of skates on his feet. From the time he was a young boy growing up in Peterborough, Ontario, hockey was like another member of the Redmond family.
My dad played pro hockey, knew all about the game, and my mom forgot more about hockey than a lot of people know. She was right in the middle of it.
Their passion for the game was just endless. I mean, they were there in love with the game, always were.
Once Mickey and his younger brother Dick got a hold of that passion, his mom would never have trouble finding her boys.
We were always the last two at 11 o'clock at night. We were skating around shooting pucks, just the two of us, and whether either my mother or father would finally come down and say, okay, time for you guys to go to bed. And we did, like, every day just about we did that.
As much as they were shaped by their parents' passion for hockey, the Redmond boys were also greatly influenced by the town they grew up in. Mickey and Dick both played junior hockey for their hometown Peterborough Petes, a team that boasts such Hall of Fame alumni as Larry Murphy and Steve Yzerman.
Peterborough was home night was Thursday night, and we'd sit around the kitchen table after a game and talk about what we did wrong, what we did right, how we could be better.
The city itself has had a passion for hockey forever, as long as I can remember. And we played in some old places that don't exist anymore, which were, as we used to call them, the old barns.
And it was in those old barns and on frozen ponds where these brothers not only bonded, but battled, as siblings often do.
He'd never have me on his team, so we're always at each other. Right? So it was one of those things. It was like a head-to-head competition constantly, and of course he most of the time come out on the higher end of it.
When they were both playing in the NHL, the sibling rivalry continued. On one occasion in particular, it spilled over during a game when Mickey once again got the better of his little brother.
Bill Friday was the referee, very animated at the time, and he was going, okay, brothers, let's go. You're both going in the penalty box. Well, my brother, being a bit of a hot temper, carried on a little bit further and got an extra 2 minutes. And I came out of the box, directly took a pass and went in and scored the winning goal. And then went back by the penalty box and, of course, gave him the the sign. So he probably doesn't like to remember that, but can't take it away.
The memories are endless for a family woven together by hockey. A family whose name is now in the Hall of Fame. And even though Eddie Redmond wasn't around to see it, his son knows just how proud he would have been.
I'm sure that he would be chest out saying, "That's my boy." The game has always been bigger than all of us, and whenever we can give back to the game and be caretakers of the game and have that opportunity, it's as good as it gets.
Coming up, the Red Wings' passions aren't all centered on the ice. When we return, we'll learn about one player's charitable pursuits and how they changed him forever.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, just, you think about him and, how he changed my life.
Let's take a look at what the Red Wings are up to in your community. Brought to you by Mazda. At the start of the season, the Red Wings school assembly team made a pledge to introduce the sport of hockey to 100 elementary schools by season's end. And last month, it was Wings forward Todd Bertuzzi's turn to take the stage at Greenfield Elementary School in Beverly Hills. Bert encouraged the kids to get a little exercise.
Let's give it up for Gabrielle. Good job, Gabrielle. You on that. Good work.
And engaged in a floor hockey shootout with students and faculty. For Todd, the message is clear.
People just take a little bit of time, spend with their kids, get them outside and playing a little bit. And especially feeding the kids in the morning. It's a long day at school. You want to make sure that they're ready and willing at school. So I think it's just little things like that we try to influence them on. I got 2 kids myself, so I love being around kids. And it was a great crowd, great school, so we had a good time.
The Red Wings organization makes an effort every year to reach out to their community. This year, that meant everything from visiting members of the military.
There are so many charities. It's so many good causes out there. But I just figured, without these guys especially, we wouldn't have the great country that we live in and the freedoms that we enjoy.
To bringing hockey to local schools.
And that's great. Now they got all the tools there, so it's always it's good to plant some seeds in them.
And even holding a charity poker tournament.
It's a great turnout. I think people have a lot of fun, and I'll definitely go to a great cause.
And some players are involved in deeply personal causes that are near and dear to their hearts. Justin Abdelkader is one such player. As we found out earlier this season, Justin is very involved in work with pediatric hospitals, and through this work, he developed a very special relationship that changed him forever.
On the ice, Justin Abdelkader certainly isn't afraid to stand up for his teammates.
And Abdelkader with the takedown.
Away from the rink, Abdelkader is involved in a different fight.
How you doing?
Good, how you doing?
Justin. Cody. Nice to meet you.
His Shoot for a Cure charity helps raise money and awareness in the fight against childhood cancer.
I just really enjoy being around kids and working with kids and being with them and interacting with them, and I think I've always been that way.
One of the many young people Justin has spent time with was Brandon Gordon. Brandon grew up in the East Lansing area, eating, sleeping, and breathing hockey.
He wasn't a normal kid that watched TV and played video games. He was playing hockey down in our basement, or he was playing out in the driveway, or he was at the rink pretty much all the time.
But early in 2007, everything changed. Then 14-year-old Brandon was diagnosed with osteosarcoma, a deadly form of cancer. Not long after he began treatment at Lansing Sparrow Hospital, Brandon got a visit from Abdelkader and some of his MSU teammates, thanks to Spartan Buddies, a program started by fellow MSU alum Drew Miller.
After we first met, the first time, I think we just, had that special bond, and going to see him at the hospital, or him coming to see us at Mount Ice Arena, or he'd come over to our house a few times to play video games, and just felt like he was part of the team.
Justin came to see Brandon a lot, and you could tell just by the time that they spent together that there was more than just a visit to see a patient in the hospital.
While Brandon was in and out of the hospital, Michigan State was making its run to the 2007 National Championship. Abdelkader would often text or call his honorary Spartan after games.
I remember, him, coming on the ice, with the trophy, after we had this, celebration at Mount Ice Arena, and how special that was. And he was in the wheelchair, but he got to be out there and be with the team.
It was at the CCHA banquet in 2008 that everyone else learned about the bond between these two special friends. Justin received the Mike and Marion Ilitch Humanitarian Award. During his acceptance speech, he surprised Brandon by inviting him on stage.
On the way home from the CCHA Awards, Brandon asked me how he could ever repay Justin for everything that he has done for him. And I told Brandon that Justin's not looking to be repaid. The best payment you can do is to keep fighting strong, be strong, and to keep doing what you got to do to get better.
Sadly, Brandon lost his battle with cancer in 2009. He was 16 years old. But his spirit carries on through his foundation, Brandon's Defense, and his impact is felt in the charity work done by his buddy, Justin Abdelkader.
You think about him and how he changed my life, and how I think about it each and every day and still think about him.
Brandon fought very hard for 731 days and never took a day for granted. And to know that people are still carrying on the fight for childhood cancer in honor of him, that's exactly what he would want.
Coming up on Wingspan, Red Wings captain Nicholas Lidstrom hit yet another milestone with the Wings this season, reinforcing his reputation as being perfect. But is he really? Stay tuned to find out. Welcome back to Wingspan, a regular season to remember.
Lidstrom scores!
Holy smoke.
Here's Lidstrom, the shot, scores!
Wow.
Lidstrom's got it, shoots and scores! Lidstrom moving and scores!
To say that Red Wing captain Nicholas Lidstrom has had a notable career here in Detroit might be an understatement. The man is a living legend, having played 20 seasons now with the Red Wings, and this year saw him become just the 14th player in NHL history to play 1,500 games. Around the city of Detroit, Nick is known as the perfect human being, but amazingly, not everyone was so convinced. Our Mickey York set out to test that theory.
Nick Lidstrom and all of his Stanley Cups, Norris trophies, and impeccable defensive positioning. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. It's time to blow holes in this perfect human being persona.
What doesn't he do good? His car is better than mine. He probably dresses better. I don't even know what to say.
Isn't the fact that he's seemingly perfect drive you a little bit nuts?
I'm a pretty easygoing guy, and I can learn a lot from a guy like that, so nothing his perfection drives me nuts at all.
This isn't going to be easy. We're going to have to drop the gloves. What the public rarely sees is his contentious relationship with the media.
Nick, so kind of rough out there. How are you holding up physically?
I'm feeling fine, but, how's your family, Ted? I'm a little worried about you. Are you doing okay?
They're doing.
Oh, good. Glad to hear that.
Vicious. And as suspected, when digging a little deeper, the mud started flinging.
I think his throwing arm is not He's not a good thrower. No, it's not. So that's, if anything, I will say that.
I asked him once if I could have one of his Norris trophies, but he wouldn't give it to me. So I guess you could say he's kind of selfish.
Homer's the guy who could bury him. I'd go to Homer if I was you.
He's not a very good friend. No.
He makes fun
No,
of you.
he hurts me. Yeah, he hurts me. But he doesn't know that. But he hurts my inner feelings when he say that to me. Like a bad English.
Very insensitive.
Yeah, it's not fun to hear it every day. No.
There's got to be some way to change the public perception of Lidstrom. The campaign smear ad, the bastion of American truthiness.
They say he's perfect, but did you know his throwing arm is weak? He makes fun of Holmstrom, and he won't share his Norris trophies. 20 years of perfection is enough. Vote no on the C.
Pretty convincing, huh?
No.
Come on. Jeez.
From what I see, around here, I mean, he's just the way he handles himself and how he goes about his everyday business. I mean, he couldn't do it any better.
Nobody's perfect.
I don't know. He's pretty close.
No, I'm telling you, there's no story. I've tried everything. I can't find anything on this guy.
Hold up.
Oh my gosh. Nick Lidstrom, you just saved my life.
Don't worry about it.
He really is perfect. Yes, he is, Mick. And that'll do it for us. This past regular season was certainly one to remember for the players and fans alike. We look forward to many more to come. For all of us here at Wingspan, I'm Trevor Thompson. We'll see you next time.